Who's got new ones, you know?
Yeah, there's several, it's a
Several people do
website,
that.
I'd have to show you, I can't remember the name of it. It's the same place that, there's two different places, and the place, that Akins uses is what, I've been flooded with so much stuff, I can't remember which website, but that.
On the vehicle, I was gonna tell you, I know that was discussed last time.
Mhm.
I talked to Mark Fitch, and he checked with Sandy and them at the funeral home. They do have a vehicle they'd be willing to sell. I don't know, I guess it would meet all the requirements. It's 2007 Town and Country. I think it's silver. It's got 83,000 miles on it for $5,000.
Okay, well, that would be, that, and we could, they never said nothing to me about that.
So I don't know if that's an option. I mean, you can
Sure,
you can go
your
out there.
second, yeah, your,
You can go out there and look at that and
Okay.
see if it's something that would meet the need, what do you all think?
Yeah.
And then Gerald and Jeff has both talked to the hospital, and they can tell you.
I called Tony out there at the hospital, he's an administrator, talked about a place to put coolers, whether they got a cooler. And, it's, Jason, did you say we've been using that some?
Yeah, it's a single one out there.
that's correct.
But, I believe, we talked earlier, the hospital's meeting, their board meeting is today, and they're gonna discuss, you know, maybe whether they can house some more cooling units for us, so.
Okay.
It's old, and they said it's broken down, a lot of it.
I mean, the way I understand it, they would have space for a three-person one. Is that what you all?
Yeah.
And they would pay for the electricity of all that. We would just have to purchase the cooler.
Okay.
And then, they told me that for you to get with them, and there's like a key card or some type of,
That's correct.
and you just get that way you can enter and exit that, the morgue area as you need to.
Okay.
And you just need to get that whenever you want to.
Okay.
And I don't know, that's where, I feel like them are the two big items, right? The car and the cooler.
Well, you have computers,
Okay.
and,
Is that just basic computers and you download some type of program, or what do you?
yes, that's from what I understand.
Okay.
And then you'd have to have a printer and a fax. And then I still need cots.
All right.
They're having board meeting right now.
Okay.
And we'll know here in a little bit if
What's,
that's suitable to use the hospital.
Yeah, that's fine, but I was under they was telling me that it wouldn't, unless that they didn't have room down in the
Well,
basement.
that room's small.
Yeah.
Have you been in there?
Yes, and.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I don't care, that's not a problem with me, it's just but I talked to them yesterday about this stuff, and I got complete different answers.
what did you find out?
Well, they were telling me that they didn't have, I was checking on what you talked to my wife about them transporting,
Yeah.
which is impossible for
Well,
them to.
Usually in autopsies, we've been paying for the transportation for them to pick up and.
There is a service out of,
Cape Dorado, isn't it?
I was told Marion,
Okay.
that they would in charge $2 a mile.
Okay. I thought usually on these autopsy bills we've been receiving, it has transportation on it.
It does.
It
Yeah.
does.
Okay.
They charge $2 a
Okay.
mile.
All right. But you're wanting to do the transportation?
Well, I think it'd be cheaper in the long run.
Okay.
I'm not saying we have to do this stuff starting out with. I'm just saying we need to figure out the answers for this stuff to, yes, you can do from what I understand, it gets quite expensive to do the transporting part. And so that's why I was saying, and I have starting to get other coroners across Illinois starting to call me now and start giving me ideas and stuff, but every one of them tells me that you need at least 2 vehicles. You gotta be, that's what you don't all the time need them, the second one sets most of the time.
Okay.
But there is a big need for it.
They also told me, Mike, that, January of 18, 2018, they're gonna lease ambulances.
They're gonna what?
Lease them instead of buying them.
Uh-huh.
And they would have an ambulance he said they would give us. That's all I know.
Yeah,
That'll have to be a board, I'm sure,
yeah.
they'll have to approve it.
Mhm.
But
Is that
as
something
far as
you'd be
he-
interested in, or you don't think that's a good idea?
Don't think it's a good idea for
Okay.
you guys.
All right.
For me, it worked great, but for you guys, cause they're wore completely out.
Okay.
When they get, that's the ultimate on a vehicle, is running this thing. It's hard to keep them together. I done it since I was 15 years old, trying to keep them things running for them, and they're,
Are they diesels?
the ones they got now, yes.
Be hard to start in one, probably.
And it's just, that's, you can get ways, that's not no big deal either, really. It is,
Not
but
today.
if you know what to do, it's no big deal, but the problem is the biggest problem with them is the old 7.3s was set up for the sulfur being in the diesel fuel. Now we can't run sulfur. Sulfur is a
Yeah.
cooling agent for them and the lubrication, and it doesn't get that, and they wear parts out, just,
Really?
you can't keep them together. Injection pumps and all that on those 7.3s.
Yeah. Well, it might be an avenue at first. But,
Mhm.
you know,
Yes,
it
that's
wasn't used
correct.
it much, but,
That's correct,
you know,
that's correct.
We just have to wait and see.
Would you want to look at that vehicle, that one vehicle, to see if it's sufficient for you? The
Yeah,
one for
yeah.
5,000, I don't know.
Sure.
If we were, it looks like they're putting about 9,000 miles a year on it,
Okay.
but if you're gonna, go back and forth with autopsies,
Mhm.
they put more miles on it.
Mhm.
What did it have, 89 on
83,000. What was it, $5,000 for those journeys or whatever? you
Yeah,
said?
Mhm. They're different prices, I mean, but that's just by the time you buy the mounts for them and all that.
Okay.
I would figure on that, and if they come in a little bit cheaper, well then,
You want us to make copies of that piece of paper you got?
sure.
Yeah, we go make copies, that way we'll have it real quick.
Not this office. We may have office in the annex or even here if you wanted to use it.
Okay, you want to go that route, that's fine.
Now, there's one down there by General Systems, they told me we could use, but it's got an asbestos problem right now. So, people not to be in there.
Okay.
So, maybe the annex up there would be the best. What do you think?
Be better to,
Where,
for the
where's
time.
it- where are we talking about?
It's in Banterra.
Okay.
I started to say, I use that office down there for elections.
Down here?
Yeah. So that would create a problem for me, because I wouldn't have anywhere else to put it.
Well, hopefully we can start on it, right away. That's quick.
And this all supposed to start December 1st, so I need to,
Move forward.
yeah.
Did y'all talk to him about a location? Give us
Yeah.
some options, okay.
Tell him where those are at up there, Jason. Where are those offices at up there?
Well, you walk into the former Banterra building. If you walk in, there's security is usually right there working. There's an office to the left that's available. Or you walk down the hallway, and before you get to the state's attorney's office, Patrick's, there's I believe an office available right there. It's in between, public defenders, little offices.
Are them, dumb question, are these accessible 24 hours a day?
Yeah, we'll get you a key.
Okay,
That way you can come and go as you want.
okay,
And then each office has its own door, and you can lock that individual door
okay,
also.
okay,
And then if you want to keep walking down the hallway, you got probation, and there's an office back there too.
okay.
So there's probably 2 or 3.
They have desks in them, wouldn't
Most of them do. If not, we have some desks upstairs that are in storage.
Don't need much, I mean,
Yeah.
there ain't much to do with,
But most of the
That, I
offices are, I don't know what size. I mean, they're pretty decent size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, I don't know, probably half the size of this room.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Would be.
and it's,
Gotta be holes in
Yeah.
plenty good.
But, we'll get you a copy of the key made, if that's where you choose that you wanna go.
Okay.
And then here at the courthouse, I don't know what options you gave him on
Well,
locations here.
There's, see that room down there's full of asbestos.
Oh, okay.
General systems.
Yeah, we don't want you to put you in there. And then there's a room right down here on the right that Larry Grace has used in the past, so I don't know if it's available or not. That building might be better for you.
Okay.
Would that be all right with you?
Oh, yeah, that's no problem. Just the main thing I was worried about is vehicles and where to
Yeah.
store.
How does it
to
work
start
with,
out.
like a lot of materials or supplies that Mark has bought, like bags and all that? Does he eventually just give all that to you?
Yes, he said that he was aware this is coming and stuff,
Yeah.
so he said he knew I'd be overwhelmed, so he kinda stocked up on that stuff.
Okay.
I don't know how much storage area I need for that. I don't know. That's another, I don't
Yeah.
know about the,
I don't know. Do y'all think of somewhere where he can keep that stuff stored? Trying to think in the basement of that building down there, if there's, but you want something accessible that you can get to
yes,
your
yeah,
room.
it'd have to be something accessible and.
How much stuff will be?
Huh?
I wonder how much stuff you'll have.
I ain't got no idea.
I guess that office wouldn't be suitable for that, or?
I don't know, it might be, I mean,
I don't know
I
how
don't
much
know, I
is
just
involved.
have to look and see,
Okay.
how much stuff
Mhm.
they're well, yeah, cause he talked about there's 10 years worth of documents that has to be locked up, but,
Okay.
and then there's some other stuff there too that I know, but.
That needs to be in your office probably.
There's a-
Now, you know over there where the.
I know there's a Jane Doe.
Yeah, where the tellers were, back behind there, I was thinking about those body bags and stuff.
Where?
Up there at the bank
If you
behind.
walk in that door and take a left, walk in the main lobby door down there,
Yeah.
take a left.
Put it behind that
Would you-
counter there.
would you have time to meet one of us down there today and look through
Sure.
that? That way we can get this settled?
Sure, yes,
I mean, that way we're
most
not.
definitely, if you come by the shop
Yeah.
and
Okay.
whatever time you can, and then maybe you'll know something
Yeah.
about the hospital, and, the coolers, he said it would take you about 3 weeks to get it in. So,
Those three, Mike, are they,
yes,
vertical?
yes,
Okay, well, that'll go in there good then.
yeah.
But you felt like, I don't know if they talked to him, but you felt like that they didn't think there was sufficient space for
Yes.
those buildings?
Yeah.
Who'd you talk to?
Talked to Robin,
Okay.
and then Fitch told me, so there just ain't no way you can get another cooler down there.
Well, they're gonna quit using theirs, I think. They said it was broken quite often. So I think right there where it's at, and they would, if that's very high, that it won't
Well,
take
now
that
that,
much.
if they remove that one, then yes,
Yeah.
you'd have room. But how quick are they gonna do that? Cause we could, that's gonna be, I don't wanna,
I think it's,
Especially,
if you order that, I would think they would put the new one in and unhook the old one, wouldn't you all? I mean, I
Without
can't see-
seeing it, I don't know
Yeah,
how
I
big of a
don't-
deal that would be, but
Yeah.
I
so it
don't,
comes, the compressor unit is all on top of it.
right.
I don't see that it could be that big a deal.
And it's been so long since it's been down there, I don't know how big the door, I don't know if you have to assemble it down there. I don't know, the odds are it was built around it down there.
Is there a garage door to get into that? I thought
No.
someone mentioned.
No, it's
I
inside the
think
building.
it's inside, best I remember, it's been years since I was a paramedic, but.
Okay.
I think she's got one door going in there, but it may be a big one.
Well, these are all questions we all want to get answered quickly, because time's running
It's
against you.
ticking, yeah.
So, I know that your main thing is just get it done with.
Yeah.
Do you all want to give him permission to go ahead and order a computer and get that stuff going, or what do y'all want to do?
Well, is that something Mark needs to do right now?
Since it's under his budget, and
Yeah.
he's currently yeah,
Wonder where we're at budget-wise with him.
I don't know. Yeah, I pulled out his budget before Mike got here.
Can I have a copy of that?
Yeah, I can.
I ain't got a copy of
Yeah, I'll go
that.
make copies.
Okay.
I don't know. You want Mark to go ahead and order, we'll just take care of it.
That's fine, I mean, I don't.
Give you this year's budget. Of course, you technically, you should have time to get it into this year's budget as well, but
What about the cooler? Are we gonna go ahead and order that, or what do you
So
do?
we'll wait to see what the hospital
Okay.
does. We'll
Okay.
know today.
Okay.
Now, those cots, I guess they'll go in the van,
That's
Yeah.
correct.
take them out and take them to the cooler.
Yeah.
Okay.
what do other counties do as far as their cooler? I mean, Johnson County, what, they have no hospital, they have,
They've got a.
they got a specific building
Yes,
for that?
They got a building for it, and I haven't seen them yet, I'm gonna go look at them, but they've got, both of them got a real nice facility. Of course, they've been doing it for years and years, and I realize this is a build program. But it's something you gotta do respectably too. I mean, it's gotta be,
That's right.
it's gotta be done right.
Have you got deputies, Mike?
Yeah, well, yes, attentively speaking. I'm still learning, but from what I understand, the two people that's kinda over Coroners Association in Illinois type thing, they recommend, they got guidelines, and the guidelines for the amount of 15,000 people in our county, they recommend the coroner and two deputies. That way you've got it all the time
Yeah.
covered, 'cause,
Somebody gets sick or,
right. So, yes, I've got two guys in mind, they're retired, that,
That's his 16 budget, and this is what he requested for 17. So you can keep that on your copy. They can change, you know, of course, you can change the 17, because you're the corner now. But that's just what he's filled out for us prior.
Wonder if we call Dana and see, is there a line item for,
There's his 16 budget right there.
JJ isn't here, so I don't think Dana's on.
But he had the cooler in there for 16. I think he had, what, 4,700, 49?
4,900.
4,900. That was a two-body cooler, I think it said.
and there's no, you can buy.
Well, we might as well buy three if you can get
Yeah,
it.
a two body is the same as a three.
Yeah, might as well get
So,
three.
they said theirs was in use about 50% of the time, hospital. So,
Okay.
probably good to have three.
Well, we don't have anything for, equipment or computers or anything in this budget. But if we check with Dana and find out that there's some money,
Left over.
yeah, maybe we can make a, amendment,
Mhm.
unless we need to check with Patrick. I'm wondering if we can add a line item at this point in time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. Have to get his approval. Do you want me to call Mark and just ask him? If he knows if he's got any, extra funds available in his budget for 16?
Sure.
I got his cell number. I'll just call him real quick, see if he answers. That way we can get this taken care of. Hey, Mark, Jason, how you doing? Hey, we're in a meeting, we got a couple of questions. Mr. Hillebrand's here. You know, we're just trying to get things started for him so he can hit the before we're running here, he had a couple of things, a computer and a printer and a fax. He's looking at probably, I don't know, $1,500 maybe. We didn't know if there's any money that you have left in your 16 budget that we could maybe do an amendment on, for like a, but what is that money, what can you use that money for? Okay, let me put you on speakerphone, and that way you can tell Jeff and Gerald the same thing, and we can go from there, okay? Hold on. All right, Mark, you're on speakerphone. Just talk about that corner surcharge and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
there's a corner surcharge fund, and like I said, myself nor Jason McManus, as far as I know, ever spent any money out of it. That's the $50 fee that we charge for cremation permits for anybody that dies in Massac County that is cremated. That money, you can check with Dana, and she can tell you the exact amount. I think it's north of 13 grand. That money is available, and by statute, I think the coroner can spend that money on anything that he wants. Anything at all. I can't tell you. You're asking about the budget. I think we had about $25,000 budgeted for autopsies, and I know this year currently I'm at like 18,000 something. So there should be a little bit of money there. We haven't bought the cooler, but the money was set aside for the cooler.
Mm-hmm.
The funeral home bought a cooler, and so we just made do with that. But there should be like $4,900 that was set aside last year
Okay.
for the purchase of a cooler.
All right.
Outside of that, I got nothing.
I understand. Well, you've been helpful, and is there any questions anyone has for Mark?
No.
Mike, all right. Well, thank you.
But yeah, what he was talking about a computer, to process the death certificates, you do need internet access. You need to log on.
Right.
And then we do, quite a bit on the computer as far as the death certificates. But also, I guess I need to let you guys know I've got 10 boxes of files that they need a place to go, as well as some other items that belong to the coroner's office.
When you say like how much square footage would those boxes take up, or could they be in file?
They can go in a closet. They're in a closed closet now.
Okay.
Not much room at all, but those boxes need to be in a secure location.
Right.
The coroner, and those are all the old files, all the old inquests, things like that. But we just need to make a place for those somewhere, under lock and key.
Right. We're going to try to meet him later at the courthouse annex building. Used to be the Banterra building, and we feel like there's sufficient space down there for his office, and maybe to put that stuff under lock and key somewhere else. So.
And then I spoke with him. I guess as far as I'm concerned, one of the more urgent things that I need to know is a phone number and an address for the coroner's office. And the reason is all of my debtors, everybody that I buy supplies from, or the agencies that we do business with as the coroner's office, I need to let them know before December 1st, if I could, where to send bills, where.
Would you?
And then,
I mean, his physical address would more than likely be that building we were just talking about. But
okay.
would he be better off just to get a PO box in the coroner's name, and that way his mail can go there and be secured, and he can just pick it up as he wants?
Sure. And then I need to also the phone number and the importance of it. It's going to have to be something that can be answered 24 hours a day. We've always used the answering service of the funeral home, and then they would page, whoever the coroner was. So that was a concern too, and also because I need to let all the institutions know that I deal with the nursing homes, the hospital, the emergency room, and so forth. I need to let them know ahead of time some new contact information.
Yeah. What do you
I would
recommend?
say, what do you think, Sheriff's Department, make that contact, and then they can page me out?
I don't know. What do you think,
For the
Mark?
meantime, any service that's already up and running that's 24 24/7, I think would be the easiest. You know, either the city or the county. You know, they just need to know who to contact.
Okay. Sounds, whatever you guys think, it don't matter to me. What does that service cost, like, if he decides to use that service at the funeral home, do you know what that is, a monthly charge for that?
Golly, no, I don't.
Okay.
And I hate to even quote it.
Okay.
It's rather expensive, but we have to have it. You know,
Yeah.
and then because we had it, we just always ran the coroner's office phone number through it.
Right.
But that's because there wasn't anything else. But yeah, I would think the sheriff's office, and then they could, you know, turn around and call or page, you know, a certain phone or something like that.
That work for you?
I would think that'd be the way to go.
I'm sure that's how it started out, and if Mike, you know, if he's the corner, if he chooses to go a different route, he can just choose to do a different
But
route.
an answering service is going to be pricey.
Okay.
I'll tell you that, more than you would think.
Okay.
Probably
Any other suggestions, or?
$3 or $4 a day, you know, something like that, I would imagine.
Okay. Any other suggestions on anything?
Not that I know. You
Okay.
guys let me know if you have questions. I'd be glad to help you.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Bye. So he gave us a couple options on that for him to get that computer.
Yeah. You may wanna check, and see exactly what the balance is in this fund, and I think if I was you, I would check with Patrick and make sure what is allowed, or more importantly, maybe what is not allowed to be purchased out of that
Yeah,
fund.
because
There's bound to be stipulations.
there is, in that Illinois thing that I read, there's certain things that money can be used for. So, now, that's on we're gonna use that for the cots, correct?
The corner surcharge?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know, I mean, you can check, see how much money's in it, and
Go from there, yeah.
go from there.
Cause that would be something I need to get coming quick.
Okay. I would suggest, if you can call Patrick, get him to get back with you, or go, you know, and then just have a list of questions you wanna ask him about different things, and he can answer those for you, and then we can go from there. Do you want him to do an amendment on his budget for the cooler, and use that to buy the computer and the printer, or what do you guys?
Well, I haven't heard back from Patrick. I sent Patrick a message to see if we can add a line item for office supplies or something, and I hadn't heard back from him.
Maybe if you talk to him, there'll be a
Yeah,
question you can
another
ask him
question,
too.
yeah.
Okay.
You have his phone number, Patrick?
No. Let me write those down for you.
Wait a minute, maybe I may have lied to you. He gave me a whole bunch the other day.
Yeah. That's right. You got his office number too, you want me to give that to you, or what?
No, I need it.
Okay, I'll get that for you.
2587.
Is that it? What's that there? You said you already have that one anyway, so. I'll go ahead and write all of our cell numbers down real quick on a piece of
Okay.
paper for you. That way you'll have them all. If you need to call one of us. You excited about this opportunity?
Yeah, yeah.
Be busy.
Wanting to build something.
I'll just come down to your office,
Okay.
when I leave here, we'll run down there real quick and look at it.
Okay. Okay, that'll work good. Is that all we need?
Yeah, I tell you what, why don't you just write your cell number down on a piece of paper, and that way we all can put it in our phone. We need to call them.
You know you're gonna have to work on that other program, right?
Yes, I hear that.
All right, then.
All right. All right.
74 is over
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike.
And you'll come by, right?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
It'll
See you
probably
later.
be
Okay, thanks a
Got
lot.
it, man.
maybe about 11, hopefully.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
You got a stack of done bills?
Yeah.
Cold air's making me yawny.
Hmm.
Come on up, Gary.
Just want to give you guys a quick update. We are, wow, okay.
That's our chair. You'll put that in your phone.
We,
That's Mike's number.
We will be publishing at the end of this month, which typically we haven't done before March in the past. But now, oops, did I give you that picture?
I don't know,
Dick,
I'm gonna give you that.
Anyway, I'll send the change notices, which is down from previous years in our publication. So these are items that are gonna be a little less expensive as they've been in the past, which I think is a good thing. What I handed out was is a report I'm able to generate now. This is gonna be helpful to the taxing districts to let them know what their early taxable assessed value, so they can do it for budgeting purposes. So going forward, I'm gonna try to have this to people in October. So this will help them in their budgeting process to know what the taxable values will be in their taxing districts. And then also, of course, the other key component is new property. The only thing that I don't have would be the TIF and enterprise zone, which is generated out of the county clerks.
So we got 2 million in new property.
Yeah, so, and I think the total value's increased about 2% this year. So, should mean tax rate will come down. It should. But, again, I have no control over levies and that type of thing, so. The other thing I want to talk to you guys about, or just make you aware, and this gets a little, I don't want to go into great detail because it's very complicated, and it has to do with property tax appeal complaint. We currently have one. It's kind of the process we went through with Lafarge. They're challenging their value. Well, Walgreens is challenging theirs, and they've taken it to the Property Tax Appeal Board. I've got a lot of data. I put a lot of stuff together. I think we can win this case, but I'd like to have some help, and because it's commercial and that's not my expertise, I'd like to consult with somebody to help me put everything together and try to keep the fee, so I don't have an appraisal, because an appraisal is gonna cost about $5,000. I'm not interested in that. One of the first things I did was I went to the school superintendent and said, are you guys on board? And they said yes. So they will pick up part of the cost on this as well. But it's something that we are obligated to do, we need to do, but I just want to make sure that we are presenting the evidence correctly, and this is something that's very tricky, and I don't want to lose because of a technicality or something we didn't fill out right or something we didn't do correctly, a method and et cetera. So I've got somebody I'd like to consult with, and I'm just letting you guys know that's what I'm doing. But the school is going to pick up 65% of the cost.
You said, Gary, you're not gonna have a price?
No, it's not gonna be an appraisal, but what I'm gonna do is have somebody help me gather, because I've collected a bunch of data, and because they have a certified general appraiser's background. They're gonna do like a rebuttal to the appraisal and how it was, done and what should or shouldn't have happened. And again, I don't wanna get into details because it's very complex, but I really feel very strongly that if anything, we have them still way under assessed. And this could cause us to even gain more value in the end, depending on how this thing plays out. The problem is this thing could take 3 years to play out. But if we lose, the taxing districts lose that money, and I want people to know what's going on.
They lose the difference in the new value versus old value.
In other words, to keep it simple, if it was $20,000 they end up getting back, then you take that times the number of years, and then that And again, the school's position is, they're the bigger, one to have something to lose. And again, every county does this thing differently, but I can tell you, prior to me coming here, I was on this side of the table. I was never on the county side. So it's a different, and that's why I wanna make sure that I'm doing things the proper way and have somebody that I feel is a lot more knowledgeable than I am with this.
Sure.
And I wanna try to keep the fee under 2,000, which I think is very fair to go through if you've seen that appraisal and seen all the information you gotta analyze and do. But I've worked hard on collecting all the other data. And of course, Patrick will be involved as well. So anything I do, I'll run through Patrick, of course.
Okay.
Okay, I just wanna kinda keep you up to date, but like I said, we've got our end of the tax cycle done, and we'll have it pretty much wrapped up after the middle of January. So we can move, I'll be able to move forward with the next tax cycle, because the new system allows me to roll it, and I can start reassessing and get this thing on a more timely basis.
All right.
When I see residential, farm, commercial, industrial, railroad, this is the value that is put on that particular industry, correct?
That's the taxable, yes, that falls into that category. So in other words, there's 84.5 million residential assessed value.
Okay.
Taxable. Now this is, please understand, some of this terminology gets not spoken correctly. This is taxable. We probably have 219 million assessed value, but once you take out exemptions, TIF and all that other stuff, that number, TIF doesn't include in this number, but those numbers come out. So taxable is what you're concerned about when you're levying. You're taking your levy divided by the taxable value, and that'll tell you your tax rate. Okay?
Why does this bottom one look so much different than the rest of them?
What do you mean?
You follow me? I mean, you got your total, and then you got a little off the farm, and then a lot off the railroad.
That's just those properties that are in this tax code. So when the system, each one of these have a tax code associated with it. So if the tax code, depending on what it is and where it's at, then these people can only use against those properties that are in their taxing district. Not everybody has, like you said, like the Massac and the hospital. If you notice, those are all county unit road, those are all the same. That encompasses most of or all the county.
Yeah.
Whereas look at your city, or let's say Massac Unit 1 is 139 million versus the county's 170 million. So that's part of that equation that taxing districts use to do their levy, to tell you your tax rate. And that's a number that we were never able to provide early on before, but we can now.
Found that odd that the railroad and the farm on the conservancy district is that much different.
I have no idea.
I can tell you.
I have no idea.
I know
Nor does it
why.
matter to me. I mean,
I know why. I figured it out.
Okay.
Because it's in Big Bay, and the only thing that's worth that, there's only a small piece of ground in Massac County that goes through Bay Creek Conservancy. But the only thing of value is the railroad.
There you go.
compared to the-
Okay, anything else?
Yes, it looks lopsided. That's what caught my eye.
Okay,
Thank you.
you bet.
Thank you, Gary.
You bet. Please feel free anytime to come down and ask questions if you have any of them.
Yep.
All right.
More done?
You ready to listen to this lady?
You can.
Yes.
Well, I don't really have all that much to say. Mr. Donkin is traveling today, and I'm one of Mr. Donkin's part-time assistant superintendents. My name's Elaine Little. I live at Lake of Egypt, and I used to work for JAMP Special Education many years ago, so I may have run into some of you back in those days. But at any rate, I was coming down today to follow up on some bus driver training that we had here on Saturday. And Mr. Donkin asked me if I would just come by your meeting today and wish you all a happy Thanksgiving and let you know that he has submitted his invoice to the county clerk. So I don't know if that's been received, but he did say that it has been submitted. So that's about it for me.
Man, we shouldn't have to wait around all that long for that.
Well, it's no problem. I found it kind of interesting. I don't know that I've sat through very many county commissioners meetings, and I thought it was, especially the part about the autopsies and the coroner's office.
People have no idea how much money it costs a county autopsies and toxicology reports are crazy expensive.
I was thinking about the toxicology in particular, probably
Well,
nowadays.
whenever you have somebody has an overdose from illegal drugs or something, any kind of suspicious activities, the coroner always errs on the side of caution to make sure there's no foul play.
Sure. Well, anyway, I learned something today, so it was educational for me, but, at any rate, that's what Mr. Duncan wanted me to share with you, and so,
Thanks for coming.
hope you
down.
have a
Thank
happy
you.
Turkey Day.
Yep, you too.
Appreciate it.
What's your all's thoughts on this reimbursement? I wonder, I didn't think to ask Gary about that. I mean, I think we're screwed, don't you?
Probably.
Yeah, they don't have the money.
Yeah, we sure
Coming out
don't.
of water, no.
And
That's
here
what they're wanting.
now, they ain't touched them houses yet, have they, that I know of?
I think they opened the bid
Let me
20.
call, see if Gary come back up real quick.
He's got 2 bids. One, he gave out one for me, and I haven't done anything, and, somebody in Kentucky's interested in bidding.
Well, that might be,
I'm sorry, are you all taking bids tearing down houses or something?
3.
2. Is there 3?
And then 2 on Union, and then 1 on
Okay,
Beltway.
somebody called the other day and I didn't know anything about it, and I didn't know
Well,
who to refer them to.
we haven't been involved in that at all. I think Gary might have.
Hey,
Well,
can you come
I-
back up?
Take
Yeah.
turns.
Piece of
I mean,
paper
I
and see
didn't
the
even know
amount
these
he
things
give you.
because the county clerk's number is the generic phone number. And I didn't know how to direct them because I had no idea what you're talking about.
Well, that may have been this one that Kentucky, or somebody over here, Scott Smith, you know him? He got the bid and he took it to Paducah.
Oh,
Do you want, Michelle, to put something in the paper that we're looking for someone to serve on the Massac County, Housing Authority? That they had a recommendation? Huh?
He-
Is it their recommendation?
Yeah, there is a recommendation
that
there.
guy, that woman, Jason.
Oh, okay. Is that what y'all? Oh, okay. You're right.
Read through that, and see if he's got a
What is
copy of
this?
that yet,
His number,
please.
5571.
5574.
Oh,
5571 is, Overmark. Dale Overmark.
oh,
You just need to put that in your, put that in your phone and you can give that to Jeff and he can.
I've never seen this, but I don't.
We just
We
got it.
wanted to make you aware of it.
Yeah.
I'm not, can I keep this
Yeah.
with the file? Okay.
Yeah,
Not quite
that'd
sure,
probably be a
but-
good idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I know that that's part of it is the,
Looks like they're suspending that temporarily.
oh, it's suspending that 25%. Yeah.
That's what I read.
Well, I-
If you keep
And
track of it,
anybody's
I'll be right
surprised
back.
how?
Yeah, really. Be careful. But, yeah,
Okay.
you can keep that.
Yeah.
That number at the top is coming out of my grant that I have and moving it over to, election authority.
That's what I figured, had that much
Yeah.
money had to do something to do with your election. Okay. Did you look at that, Jason?
Yeah, I was gonna, let you and Gerald look at it.
What did you do? Would you like to make that motion?
I'll make a motion, to accept that.
I'll second that.
All in favor, aye?
All right.
Opposed? Motion carries. Good thing, because she's already spent the money. Didn't you?
Well, it's mine to spend. I mean, I'll apply for those grants, that's what it's for.
Dang, elections are expensive, ain't they?
Yes, they are.
How much money are you moving?
$10,032. And the county clerk grant to the election authority.
Sorry, I cut in front
Oh, no, I had other things come up.
List of the resolution for next week's
Okay.
agenda.
Okay.
All the things for the end of the year, that we have to do for next year.
All right, we'll get those on there.
Joe, is the mowing over with? Long John. You know Long John?
I know of him.
He's wanting that mowed from his house over to Glasgow's house. I said, well, I think they quit, Johnny. Yeah, I ain't seen him out here. You know what I'm talking about? Down that hill.
Well, I don't know where he actually lives. Does he live up on the hill past
Yeah,
George May?
West, at the end of George May, I guess, isn't it?
Going back towards the west a little bit.
Yeah, just
Just
a
barely,
few
yeah.
feet, yeah. Then there's a house in behind him, you know, too, but. I'm just passing it on.
Okay, I will look at it. I don't know. I mean, we've been working on the, kind of end of the year stuff, changing blades for next year and doing all that kind of stuff. Um, I don't think we've finished all the tractors yet. If it's something real bad, we can probably run out there and do it. But, I mean, this-
I've been down through there,
It's cold nights.
working on that
It's
basement.
gonna kill all that grass, with all these frosts and freezes that we're having now,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you that he always raised Cain about that hill there, but it looked good.
Well, we did a lot of work on that
I
here a
know it.
little while back.
Yeah.
Didn't cut.
Wasn't washing out, they used to have
Just put a lot
reels
of
in
rock
it,
on it.
but it looked good.
We put a lot of rock on there and cut them ditches out so it wouldn't wash out so bad.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not guaranteeing it's gonna work forever, but it's
Yeah.
a lot better than it was. That reminds me, he asked me a long time ago what it would take to get that subdivision to his, and I wrote him a letter back, and I never heard a word from him, I guess.
Cost too much.
I guess.
I don't know if all those lots are sold back there or not.
He knows anything to you about that, has he?
Oh,
I mean, here recently,
No.
within the last 6 months.
year or two ago.
Yeah, okay.
You know, Joe, I can't understand. Aubrey Jeffords, I think, did that. Well, no, I think Bill Shearbone actually built the thing, the roads. But Aubrey paved them. They should have known that wasn't in compliance when they did that.
You would think.
I mean, and, just call for oil and chip, they asphalt. Them beyond what they could have done. I've done some, and Larry, I always did mine in steps, and get Larry to look at it before I went further, and, did you pour concrete on the bridge, Joe?
We had a couple,
Washing
one pipe that was rotten out on the bottom that we poured concrete in, and then there was a box culvert that.
You just went one
You
little
just have
bucket?
to see what I'm talking about, the whole bottom of it, the concrete broke up and broke off and washed out of there to where all the rebar was exposed, so we had to redo the bottom of one of the box. The rest of the box was good, but
What would cause that? Just water over time?
either freezing.
Water's
freezing
rough on
thawing.
concrete, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
May have washed got under it and
They had
freeze
freezed,
it there. And
frozen top and bottom out, or, you know, I don't know, yeah, I've never seen anything like that before, the way that this one happened. But that's what, yeah, that's what that concrete is for.
Sorry, I'm being loud. Trying to read some else.
Just rip it open.
Yeah, that's a big picture right there.
Huh. That's a new one on me.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you want, that's what that one looked like before we done it.
I've never
Where is
seen it.
No?
That's up there, on Grand Chain Road by the cell phone tower.
Gabtown.
Seems almost to where Portland Road comes up to on the west
Yeah.
side.
Looks like slats down there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's all rebar there, that.
Yeah.
And it's old, I mean, it's an old structure, a lot of that rebar was square rebar.
Really?
Probably an early 1900s structure.
Twist, is it twist? No, square, you say.
Square. I mean, they used that back in the day, way before my time. Before your time too.
Must have been, I don't remember. I've seen those twisted.
Yeah,
places.
those are old too.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready to replace, structure on Waller Road, down by the Strotmeyer Farms place. There's a structure there is real narrow.
Yeah,
We're getting ready to replace that.
right there almost in front of their office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting ready to replace that. Supposed to be getting pipe in today. Replacing it with a culvert pipe.
Is that a box culvert thing?
Well, it's an old, I don't even know what you call it, one of them worker program structures back in the,
WPA.
excuse me a second, this is the guy that's delivering the pipe. Hello, this is Joe. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, you have the rest of the directions to get there? No. That's probably not the easiest, you just need to go up Highway 145, State Route 145 to Waldo Road, make a right going back to the east, and a mile and a quarter down there. Our guys are out there with the track hoe and everything waiting. Yep. Yep. Yes, sir, and you won't be able to miss them, yep, they'll be out there with the Komatsu excavator and everything waiting on them. Okay, thank you very much. Sorry.
Doing the work today.
Not gonna do it today, no.
Just out there getting ready to-
Yeah, they're just delivering the pipe today. We're probably not gonna wait till Monday to do that, because it'll take a couple of days. We'll have to close that road down and, remove the old structure out of there and get all the rock and everything that's in there out of there and put that pipe in and backfill it. What I was saying, that's an old WPA structure. It's got like those old rock walls or it's like actual rock that's moored together.
Creek gravel?
No, I mean, you're talking big rocks. I mean, it's like,
Oh,
Stone.
yeah, I remember.
it's like moored together, you know, that's the abutments, and then it's got a concrete deck on it, but the deck's not all one piece. The old deck is just real skinny, and a few years back, our guys, I think, put an extension on it and did a little repair to it, so, I mean, it's kind of it's a real mess. That's why we're replacing it. The walls are falling in and eroding underneath it, and it's just, and it's narrow to start with, so.
Joe, we're all the roads in the county 80,000 pound now. Wasn't that a law?
Well, I guess every road in the entire state that's not posted is.
Well, I thought that the county was required to make them 80,000.
I don't know what you mean by making. I mean, the law says an 80,000 pound truck can go anywhere it's not posted. You know, there are exceptions. I mean, routes that aren't truck routes, I mean, you can't use them as a through thoroughfare. I mean, you have to have a purpose of going that way. I mean, we can't, I mean, you mean, we didn't upgrade them, I mean, they're roads, I mean, they're what they are, I mean, we haven't done any work to them to make them any stouter, I mean, obviously.
But if they're not truck routes, they may not be 80,000 pound roads.
You mean like rated that for
Yeah.
weight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I doubt, I mean, there are probably very few of our roads that are actually will withstand the continual
Really?
80,000 pound loads. I mean, the county highways probably will, but anything off of the county highway, I mean, it's just gravel and oil and chip, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. I mean, I guess you can drive on dirt with 80,000 pounds if it's dry enough and good enough shape, but, you know, the structural integrity of the pavement isn't gonna last, I mean.
No.
But they, you know, I mean, they constantly wanting to up that, they want to get it to 100,000, and, I mean, that's just the way that the law is going, I guess. They don't want to hinder commerce in the state, so they try to make everything, you know, work for people that drive these trucks.
Yeah, of course, I know the bridge, a lot of bridges, or some bridges aren't
Yeah,
able to withstand that kind of load.
yeah, we're getting them slowly replaced. I mean, we
Yeah.
still have a few that are posted, but, and probably a few of them will probably always remain posted until we can get them replaced.
Yeah.
Well, aside from doing that, you know, pipe, I mean, as far as other work we're doing, we're just, you know, cutting a lot of brush, cutting trees and stuff while we have nice weather to do it. Don't have anything else really to report on. If you guys got anything for me, you can just call me anytime.
All right.
Sounds good.
Have a
Thank
good
you, Joe.
Thanksgiving.
Thanks, yeah, you all have a good Thanksgiving too.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. And is it on there?
I don't have the highway reimbursement on there yet, because I didn't have those totals, so. Now that Joe's brought them, I'll get them totaled up. And I think it was last week's paper, I'm not showing it on here, where Judy had made the last disbursement for real estate tax to us, so we won't have any more until after the tax sale, which will probably be in February.
So when it normally is.
About that, February, it has been in March.
public defender, I believe, I'm not sure how that's gonna work with us. Are we getting a new public defender? We're gonna have to probably do some changing there.
You're supposed to get one. I think you took applications.
I guess this amount, I guess is what I'm, the reimbursement is based on what her salary is, so if a new one comes in and the salary changes, this amount will change, so.
So she's currently getting reimbursed 2/3 of her salary, is that right?
And the amount will stay the same, it'll still be 2/3, but whatever the salary amount of the new person.
The percentage stays the
Yes,
same.
percentage stays the same, but the amount of their salary will be different.
I think she has till the end of the month, doesn't she?
I believe so. I'll have some bills I'm gonna bring back.
That's part of the meeting's over, I'm sorry. Maybe next week.
And something outside of the meeting, I'll tell you guys, cause I told everybody, but with Sandy, we thought maybe we'd try and talk to Denise and maybe get a Thanksgiving dinner. I don't know if y'all know that she, you know, fell out on the stairs and all that, so she just got out of the hospital last night. So we thought maybe we'd put something together for a Thanksgiving dinner for them Wednesday, so they would have it for Thursday, so if anybody wanted to contribute, just holler at
Okay,
me or Juanita.
all right, thank you.
Okay.
Or Rolls or something.
Okay. Looks like we received a letter from the Housing Authority. There's a vacancy. Someone's resigned on that board. I want to get that too.
Sure, I want to make copies of that.
Yeah.